In this week's Jaunts with John T, we discover 5 things to love about the Portland suburb of Lake Oswego, Oregon. Howdy, and welcome to Jaunts with John T. I am John T, and this week I am in Lake Oswego, Oregon. Lake Oswego is a suburb of Portland, Oregon. It is located just south of Portland and a little bit to the west. Now, Lake Oswego was founded in 1847, and it currently has a population of a little over 40,000 people, making it the 11th most populous city in Oregon. But it's mostly thought of as being a suburb of Portland. Lake Oswego pretty consistently makes the list of the best suburbs in Oregon, and it pretty much always makes lists of best suburbs in Portland. It really is a lovely city with a lot to offer, so why don't we go check it out? Number 5 on my list of things to love about Lake Oswego is, well, the views. You can be walking your kids to school, or you can be driving to the store, and suddenly, bam, there's Mount Hood or Mount St. Helens in all of its majestic snow-capped beauty. You can see hills off in the distance. You can see pine forests going off for miles. It really is a very, very lovely area. The number 4 thing to love about Lake Oswego is this, the Lakeview Village. This is a village that was built in the 1960s. Here it overlooks Oswego Lake, and it has several shops and restaurants, some wonderful restaurants. It's a wonderful place to just kind of walk around and do a little shopping and maybe have a bite to eat. It also has been described as looking like you are inside of a snow globe, which I have to say is sort of true. Even though it was not built that long ago, it was built in the 60s, it was a while ago, but not that long ago, it has the feeling almost of a European village, and it is quite pleasant. And here from the terrace, you have beautiful views of the lake. Now it's time for lunch, and Andy and I are going to have lunch here at Holy Taco. Here's the Holy Taco menu, mostly tacos and other types of Mexican food, fajitas, etc. Chips and salsa looks delicious. And you got chorizo vegan tacos. Lovely, thank you.
And hot sauce and salt. Thank you.
Perfect. And I got a chicken tinga taco and a pork carnitas taco, as well as some black beans. And Andy also got some mushrooms. Saint Honoré is our go-to place for getting lattes and wonderful pastries. They also are open for lunch. Oregon, especially the Willamette Valley, is known for its vineyards, and it's particularly known for its Pinot Noir. And one of the most beautiful vineyards in Oregon is Domaine Serene. And Domaine Serene also has a wine bar right here in Lakeview Terrace. Lakeview Terrace is also home to a location of the world-famous Salt and Straw ice cream. Right now I'm in Lake Grove, which is another neighborhood in Lake Oswego. Actually, calling it a neighborhood is almost a misnomer. It's a very large section of Lake Oswego. And it's almost like a separate city unto itself. In fact, it even has its own post office, or I should say its own zip code. The reason why I bring it up is because, interestingly, there is almost a second kind of a town center here in Lake Grove. It's not quite as walkable as Lakeview is in Lake Oswego, but it does have a lot of restaurants and shops and a very nice high-end marketplace. Lake Grove is also home to the Lake Oswego Country Club, which, as you can see, is a private country club, and I'm not a member, so therefore I can't show it to you. Now, the number 3 thing to love about Lake Oswego is its beautiful neighborhoods. There are some lovely neighborhoods such as Lake Grove and Lake View, which we'll be talking about in a minute. There's also Mountain Park, which, fun fact, is one of the largest HOAs in the country. But then there is my personal favorite, what I think is the most beautiful neighborhood in all of Lake Oswego, and that is right here, First Edition. First Edition has beautiful tree-lined streets, sidewalks, quiet sidewalks, and really cute little houses that are all fairly close together and close to the street, which gives it a real small town feel. It feels like you're in an all-American town. You could be anywhere in America, and it's absolutely lovely. Most of the houses here look like they were built probably in the 30s and 40s, some possibly in the 60s, but not a lot of new construction in this particular neighborhood. It's mostly older homes and more settled. It really is lovely and quiet, and I love it here. It's also, by the way, the home of the Lake Oswego Library. So if you want to go to the Lake Oswego Library, then you go to First Edition. Number 2 on my list of things to really love about Lake Oswego is that there are a couple beautiful parks and nature walks in the area. The one I'm in now is the Tryon Creek State Natural Area, which is actually mostly in Portland, but there is a portion of it that is in Lake Oswego, and the entrance to the park is either in Lake Oswego or very close to Lake Oswego. It is home to literally miles of nature trails that weave in and out of the woods here. It's beautiful, very lovely, and it is open, as far as I know, it is open all year round. I've been here in the winter. It can be snowy, but it's very good. Behind me is the Tryon Creek Nature House, where you'll find a gift shop, small gift shop, some trail maps, exhibits, some small exhibits, and things of that sort. This is also where a lot of the trails in the natural area kind of converge in this one spot. This is also where the parking lot is, and there are some picnic benches, and also you can find restrooms here. This is George Rogers Park, which is actually personally my favorite park here in Lake Oswego. It is on the Willamette River, which you can see here behind me, and there is a trail down here behind me that goes along the river, and it's quite pretty, and we walk it fairly often, especially in the summer and the spring. When there is water runoff, there's actually a waterfall right next to the small waterfall right next to the trail. I doubt there'll be any water there today, but maybe there will. We'll go walk it a little bit and see. Like I said, this walk is right on the Willamette River, or is it the Willamette River? I'm not sure. I've heard it pronounced both ways, so I'm not 100% sure. I've only been living here for a few years, so I may be wrong. If you live in the Portland area, leave a comment below. How do you pronounce it? Do you pronounce it Willamette or Willamette? Or maybe you pronounce it some other way. Let me know. Anyway, we love to come down here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little beach area back over there, and there's a company that rents kayaks, and we've come here a few times and rented kayaks and went kayaking out on the river when the weather is nice during the summer. Well, as you can see, the waterfall is falling currently. Not very strong, but a little bit trickling down, so that's nice. The structure behind me here is the furnace for the Oregon Iron Smelting Company. And actually, iron ore was brought all the way from a location further down on the river there, and there was a huge, or I should say long conveyor belt that went all the way from there, all the way over to here, to this furnace, which is where the iron ore was then smelted. And now we get to the number one thing to love about Lake Oswego. Now, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that Lake Oswego often makes the list of best suburbs in Oregon, or best suburbs of Portland. But I've even seen Lake Oswego be listed as being one of the best suburbs in the country. Specifically, it's been listed as one of the best suburbs for urban living. Now, what does that mean? It means that you enjoy all of the benefits that you get of living in the suburbs, quiet neighborhoods and good schools, all of the things that come with living in the suburbs. But in addition, you get a lot of those urban amenities. And I'm not just talking about amenities here in Lake Oswego. As you've seen, we have wonderful restaurants and we have good shopping, etc. But Lake Oswego is also extremely convenient to Portland and everything that Portland has to offer. Museums, theater, movie theaters in Portland as well. And of course, Portland is especially known for all of its fine dining. And even though there is great theater to be found in Portland, there's actually a wonderful little theater here right in Lake Oswego. It's a semi-professional theater, and they do wonderful plays. We've seen a couple plays there, and they do great work. So you don't even have to drive the 20 minutes into Portland to go to Keller Auditorium. I will say this, that you can get from Lake Oswego into Portland in usually 10, 15, 20 minutes max. Sometimes people will complain about the traffic in Portland, but as a person who once lived in New York, I can tell you that the traffic here is nothing compared to a lot of other cities. So that is my number one thing to love about Lake Oswego, is urban living in a suburban setting. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week. We really enjoyed visiting Lake Oswego, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please be sure to give us a like. It really does help us out. Now, here at Jaunts with John T, we go on jaunts around the world, around the country, around the state, around the city, and sometimes just around the house. And if that sounds like fun to you, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that way you will be notified of any new videos that we have coming out. Well, that's going to do it. I am John T, and until I can figure out a better sign-off, thanks for watching.